right, welcome back, generals, to another Let's Fix General 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good. So let's take a look here at Helmut's replay simulation with command line. All right, so let's see. We wanted to get this sim replay sh. There we go. Okay, good. So a bunch of small things. Okay, I suspect this is done for the same reason as explained in. Alright, so to explain this on a class level, then we want to push to command list as opposed to a message stream for reasons X. What do you mean with explain this on a class level? I mean, explain this somewhere visible to explain it for the whole class. For the whole class, not just buried inside a specific function. I mean, explain this somewhere visible at the class. Explain this somewhere visible at the class. Somewhere visible for the whole class, not just buried inside a specific function. Because the use of the command list applies to the whole class, not just this function, not just this one function. That's just see comment below. Oof, which comment? Okay. Okay. Perhaps better. Simulators. Simulate replays. Simulate replays. Simulate replays. Simulate replays. Simulate replays. Get frame duration. Recorder.h. Recorder.h. Valid during playback only. Get playback frame count. Undefined. Okay. Playback in progress. Const. Is playback mode. Is playback mode. Okay, that function has disappeared. Ah, no, it's here. Okay. Okay. Source CRC mismatch. Const. update headless. Okay. I should probably close some of the files so that Visual Studio isn't that slow anymore. Good. So close other tabs. Oof. Extra slow today. Yeah. Okay. Good. So update headless. Where's that function? Update headless. Update headless. Can move this before version.h. Okay, what about this function? Huh, disappeared. Where was it? Command line CPP. Command line CPP. Yeah. Map name equals action path. Huh, seems to be gone. Command line. Headless, replay, the replay. Okay, didn't respond to that, so I wonder what's up with that. What is the reason to not be able to do that? Yeah. Can make this comment one line. Stop playback. Yeah. Let's see that. Command list. Yeah. Playback frame counts. Playback frame count. Terminate is only used in Windows, and shutdown implicates an orderly shutdown. I know this code base is Windows only right now, but eventually this class is probably also implemented in Linux. Kill is pretty much standard terminology for this. Okay. But the comment says terminate process. The function is called kill, and this says terminate process. Okay, well, not a big deal, I guess. Did you add it to core then? Worker process. Oof. Worker process. Yeah, it's in core. Okay, that's good. If create pipe theoretically fails, the following calls will fail as well, and the error is handled by a failing create process. In practice, create pipe never fails. Okay. Okay, what is this? Oh. Start process, create pipe. Read handle. Read handle. If create pipe theoretically fails, the following calls will fail as well. Which ones? This one? Yeah. Why would this fail? If create pipe theoretically fails, the following calls will fail as well, and the error is handled by a failing create process. The error is handled by a failing create process. I don't understand. To me, it looks like this pipe stuff is totally independent of the create process. To me, it looks like the pipe is independent of the create process call. How are they linked? I mean, they why would create process fail if the pipe fails? To me, it looks like I can comment out the pipe stuff. I can comment out all this stuff here, and the process would still be created, right? This looks totally irrelevant for the process. So I really don't understand. Maybe because of this right handle, but if it's null, it can be null, right? Force of feedback. Force of feedback. Use STD handles. Use STD handles. Does it fail because of the right handle? Of the null right handle? See above. Okay. If this fails, then the function return is still meant to be true. Yes, attaching the job object is optional. It should still work. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Clear. Is this call legal if mread handle is null? It's never null at this point. Worker process, peak named pipe. Peak named pipe, where is this? Peak named pipe. Okay, can you put an assert to make that visible, to make that expectation visible? Okay. Perhaps put an assert to make that expectation visible, because it is not awfully obvious. It's not obvious. Yeah, where is this called here? Not is running. Perhaps in start process. Okay, so if he says that this will fail, if this has failed, then that means that this is a bug, right? Because you're not allowed to call close handle on null, right? Close handle MSDN. Let me search for null. Not found. Null. A valid handle to an open object. Okay. Okay, where's it? Close handle here. So he said see above. So he says see above. Okay, I need to click on unresolve. This is a bug. Cannot call close handle on invalid. This is a minor bug. Cannot call close handle on invalid handle. Yeah, basically he doesn't have fail safe here, so he relies on this one to fail, and then he will call close handle on an invalid handle. Yeah, on a null handle. Yeah, it is. Should always handle. It should handle this error, and then maybe this one if this also can error. Just handle it. If pipe failed, return. If this failed, return, right? Because otherwise you make these assumptions like, okay, if this has failed, will this go on? Will this work? Yes, no. Who knows? Right? I mean, there is a reason that all these functions here return error codes, right? So use it. Actually, let me ugh. Can we cancel this review? Can we cancel this? Delete. Close handle. Oh, now I don't see. See above. This is a minor bug then. Cannot call close handle an invalid handle. I suggest handle the error higher up and do not rely on create process to fail if something else unless the pipe is not required. Unless the pipe is not required, then make this also work without the pipe. Okay. Start process. Okay, I did not simplify this, unfortunately. Oh, what is this here? Jesus Christ. This review is bonkers. How can we hide this bullshit? What is this? Can we hide this? Oh, Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to review this with all these things there? Compile errors. Oof. Oof. Okay, I actually did put it in a function. Okay. While true. Okay. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Is this correct? Perhaps code in needs to be adjusted instead. This check is necessary. Okay. Let's see. If not headless, the check is necessary. Otherwise, you won't be able to run the retake client while checking replays in the background. Otherwise, you won't be able to run the retake client while checking replays in the background. If not headless. I don't see it. The problem is that it means that now it means that some clients will now use the same ini files and the same logs and so on, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to run the retake client while checking replays in the background. Why? If not headless. If we run multiple clients that do not use unique client IDs, then these clients will use the same the same the same user config ini files and write to the same log files. If it was not, if not everything goes through the pipe, not everything, just same log files. If not headless, not headless. Okay, I don't know why I wrote this here, because that doesn't make sense. But this does make sense. So if not headless, which is a regular client, right? So a headless client would not have a, if you run multiple clients, otherwise you won't be able to run the retail client while checking replays in the background. The retail client while checking replays in the background. This can be solved by starting the client index, the client instance IDs at 2. Starting instance IDs at 2 when headless is started. Yeah. This way, headless will not consume. Headless clients will never take the retail. Will never take the retail mutex. Okay. Exit code. Exit code. Exit code. Okay, let's continue here. If and only if What? If and only if. Wait, what? If is a word? I've never seen that. What the hell? What is this? What? Origin of if. Abbreviation if. Its invention is often credited. Who wrote I invented if. For if and only if. But I could never believe I was really its first inventor. It is somewhat unclear how if was meant to be pronounced. A single word if is almost always read as the 4 words if and only if. Jesus Christ. Return true if the process okay. Now I think the big question is this actually in the English dictionary? Cambridge Dictionary. So, I don't want to have a translation. I just English meaning here. If doesn't exist. Oof. This does not seem to be a regular words. Regular words. I would not use it, but okay. Oof. Okay. Did he do that? Get exit code. Oh yeah, he did that. because it is not necessary to have a delegate process for a single job. Just run it in one process. Just run it straight away. Because it is not strictly necessary to have a delegate process for a single job. You just run it straight away. It would not be strictly necessary, because it would not be necessary to have a delegate process for a single job. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's fine. According to both C++, it's preferable to use signed integer unless bit semantics or the medieval behavior is desired. If a value is not supposed to be 0, then it's better be unsigned. See STL, see standard template library. It uses size t for all unsigned, for all non-negative integer, for all never be negative. Do not trust these guidelines. This. Yeah, surely we wouldn't want to see STL use signed integer types. We wouldn't want to see the STL use integer for indexes or indices or sizes or things that cannot be -1 or negative. It should not be signed type. Nah. I don't agree with this. For example, it would be pretty dubious file name position started. Can Can you, in what scenario would this or that be negative? Can this happen? Yeah. See comment below. I should have mentioned why. This PR will add a button to simulate a replay without graphics from the replay menu. In that case, headless will be false. Headless will be false. And we need another flag to indicate that the replay is simulated. Okay. I figured another enum member is a good and easy way to distinguish this. Okay. Okay. Regarding the flags idea, it would work like that, but I also feel like that would be unnecessarily complicated. It won't be easy to see what flag combinations are valid, and listing each possible state is just simpler. If we want to make more combinations possible in future, we can reevaluate. Okay, that's fair. But I can change it if requested. Regarding the headless command line, combining headless mode with any other command line option other than replay playback doesn't make sense. Is that so? Yeah, okay. For now, yes, sure. But okay, let me quote reply. Okay. Is it fine? Let me think. So this, yeah, you can watch it. Okay. Launches it in not headless, and then it clicks that button. Okay. Okay, makes sense. Nice. There could be other use cases for headless in a far future. I would not bet on replay being the only ever use case. The only ever use case. And the future. As I said, machine learning is one possible use case. Other types of auto testing are another. For example, testing menus. Testing menu flows. Another use case. I still think minus replay and minus headless are the better choice here. Headless. Then it is also much clearer what these things mean. Minus sim replay is not intuitive. Minus replay is, and so is minus headless. What these things are. code paths to play back a replay in headless and the normal mode are also quite different. So hiding those behind the same option would be a bit misleading. Why? Just if you run headless, it goes into the shell map, done. If you combine it with replay, then it plays back the replay in headless. What's the problem? Let me illustrate this. Command line options. Minus headless. Loads into shell map in headless. Minus replay. Plays back a replay with the client visible. Minus replay, minus headless. Plays back a replay without the client visible. Minus what other combination? Jobs. Minus replay minus jobs. Plays back a replay with multiple clients visible. Minus replay minus jobs minus headless. Plays back replays without any clients visible. Without any visible clients. With multiple visible clients. Yeah, this is how I would do it. Is there any other combination? Replay jobs. You can have headless jobs. Yeah, I don't know if that's useful. Multiple clients will then run the shell map. That doesn't make much sense. Command line options. Okay. Command line options. Okay, let me clarify this. So let me make it nice. So maybe that convinces him what it does. Command line options. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me see if that table looks good. Yeah. So command line options. Headless. Loads into shell map. Let me clarify that. Without a visible client. Without a visible client. With a visible client. With multiple visible clients. Without any visible clients. Yeah. Let's look at this. So, headless. Loads into shell map without a visible client. Done. Minus replay. Plays back a replay with a visible client. Minus replay minus headless. Plays back a replay without a visible client. Minus replay minus jobs. Plays back a replay with multiple visible clients. Replay jobs headless. Place back, replace without any visible clients. How do you specify multiple replays? Sim replay. So here, sim replay. Okay, just specify multiples, one after another. Yeah. So you say place back, replace with multiple visible clients. Place back, replace, let's put it like this, replace. With a visible client. Without a visible client. Place back, replace with multiple visible clients. Place back, replace without any visible clients. Yeah. Place back, parallel, replace. So this is how I would do it, because then you can freely combine these options. And to me, this looks really intuitive. And I don't think that having a sim replay and a replay option is better than being able to freely combine the headless. And because I also want to be able to just run multiple replays at the same time and see them all, like to have two side by side and have them run side by side. Why not? Sounds good to me. Why can I not do this? I want visual confirmation how it runs. Why not? I want to see it. I want to see the bugs as it like runs through the replay. Right? If it so I think it would be I think it will be good if these features are flexible and combinable. Allows for better testing options, better testing possibilities. And future feature exploration. Well, that's a stupid take. Also, like that. Okay, I think that's all I can say about this review for now. Yeah, I would like to see this happening. I think this makes it much better because I do see headless having value for other things as well, right? Hmm. 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 Okay, can we look at anything else? Hmm. Let me see this here. Mismatch between colors, array size. Okay. Okay. Replay, where is it? Replay menu. Replay menu. Author, Chris the Master. Wow. I was saying made in the hood. This game was made in the hood. Yeah, by the way, we can name this back. Okay, okay, so he wants me to change the this one. The beautiful wrong size for colors. Thanks. Mismatch between colors, array size, and color max. Okay. Mismatch. Okay. Is he happy with the colors? Yes. He's happy with the colors. Okay. Ah, hold on. Now I only fixed it for that one language. Fixed. Okay. Except do not close the options menu with this change. Oh. accepts, does not close the options menu as per the original design, the original functionality. Misaligned scroll speed text. I think that's a data issue, right? I think that's a data issue. Transfer. Labels, GUI, minor. Okay. Good. Then I will take a break here. Has been just 1 hour 18. Felt longer. Huh. Interesting. All right. Good. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.